The ancient world is filled with mysteries, lost cities, vanished civilizations, secrets buried beneath the sands of time, but few mysteries capture the imagination like the undiscovered tomb of Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt. Her story is one of power, love and tragedy, a story that continues to fascinate us centuries later. Cleopatra's life was a tapestry woven with political intrigue, romance and, ultimately, tragedy. Her love affair with Roman general Mark Antony shook the foundations of the Roman Republic. Their defeat at the Battle of Actium sealed their fate. Legend has it that Cleopatra chose a serpent's bite to end her own life, rather than face humiliation at the hands of Octavian. History tells us that she and Antony were buried together, their tomb a testament to their love and a symbol of their power. But time, as it often does, has obscured the truth, the location of their shared tomb lost to history. Historians and archaeologists believe that Cleopatra's tomb lies hidden somewhere beneath the bustling streets of modern Alexandria. In Cleopatra's time, this city was a beacon of culture and knowledge, a grand metropolis that rivaled even Rome in its splendor. The city was home to the famed Library of Alexandria, a repository of ancient wisdom and learning, and at its heart stood the tomb of Alexander the Great, a magnificent mausoleum befitting a ruler who conquered most of the known world. It is believed that Cleopatra, eager to associate herself with Alexander's legacy, chose to build her own tomb near his. But Alexandria, once a jewel of the ancient world, has been ravaged by time and tide. Earthquakes, rising sea levels, and the relentless march of urban development have all but erased Cleopatra's Alexandria from the face of the earth. Yet tantalizing clues to the location of her tomb can be found, scattered like fragments of a forgotten map in ancient texts. Greek biographer Plutarch, writing a century after Cleopatra's death, provides us with our most detailed account of her burial. He describes a magnificent tomb adorned with gold and precious stones, located near a temple dedicated to the goddess Isis. This temple, Plutarch tells us, was situated near the royal palace, facing the sea. While these descriptions offer a starting point, the sands of time have shifted, making it difficult to pinpoint the exact location described by Plutarch. Archaeologists have uncovered numerous temples and palaces in Alexandria, but none that perfectly match the biographer Plutarch's description. The search is further complicated by the fact that part of the ancient coastline of Alexandria is now submerged beneath the Mediterranean Sea. It's likely that the temple of Isis, and perhaps even Cleopatra's tomb itself, now lie buried beneath the waves. Despite these challenges, the search for Cleopatra's tomb continues. In recent years, archaeologists have made promising discoveries in the waters off the coast of Alexandria. Sunken ruins, possibly belonging to the royal quarter, have been unearthed, offering a glimmer of hope that Cleopatra's final resting place may one day be found. The allure of Cleopatra's tomb has captivated explorers and treasure hunters for centuries. Early expeditions, often fueled by romantic notions of lost riches, yielded little more than disappointment. The shifting sands of the Egyptian desert seemed to guard their secrets jealously. One of the earliest documented searches was undertaken in the 19th century by Italian explorer Giovanni Battista Belzoni. Belzoni, known for his daring exploits and impressive discoveries, was convinced that he could locate Cleopatra's tomb. He scoured the ancient necropolis of Alexandria, excavating numerous tombs and uncovering countless artifacts. Yet Cleopatra's final resting place eluded him. Belzoni's failure, while disheartening, only served to intensify the mystery surrounding Cleopatra's tomb. Advancements in underwater archaeology opened new avenues for exploration. Archaeologists explored the submerged ruins of Alexandria, discovering the famed Lighthouse of Alexandria. These finds confirmed that a significant portion of ancient Alexandria lay beneath the waves. This had profound implications for the search for Cleopatra's tomb. If Plutarch's account was accurate, the tomb was likely submerged as well. The temple complex of Thutmose Magna, located 30 miles west of Alexandria, has captured the attention of archaeologists. This site, dedicated to Isis, resembles the temple described by Plutarch. Excavations led by Dr. Zahi Hawass have uncovered tunnels and chambers beneath the temple. These structures have fueled speculation that Thutmose Magna could be Cleopatra's final resting place. A nearby burial chamber with gold coins bearing Cleopatra's image has heightened the intrigue. Could this be the breakthrough archaeologists have been waiting for? Only time and further excavation will tell. The discovery of Cleopatra's tomb would be a momentous event, sending ripples of excitement through the world of archaeology and capturing the imaginations of history enthusiasts worldwide. Speculation abounds regarding what treasures might lie hidden within this lost mausoleum. Cleopatra, known for her opulent lifestyle and love of luxury, would have undoubtedly been laid to rest surrounded by objects befitting her status as the last pharaoh of Egypt. Her tomb might contain a dazzling array of jewellery, from intricate gold necklaces adorned with precious stones to elaborate headdresses symbolizing her power and divinity. Imagine the sparkle of emeralds, the deep red glow of rubies, and the cool brilliance of sapphires, all crafted into exquisite pieces fit for a queen. Cleopatra's tomb could reveal invaluable insights into ancient Egypt's burial rituals and religious beliefs. The layout, decorations and objects within would shed light on elaborate funerary practices. We might find canopic jars preserved according to ancient beliefs, or a funerary mask for her safe passage to the afterlife. The walls might be adorned with frescoes depicting Egyptian mythology, offering glimpses into Cleopatra's religious beliefs and connection to the gods. One tantalizing possibility is discovering written records within the tomb. Cleopatra might have left scrolls detailing her reign, leadership, or her relationship with Mark Antony. Such a discovery would offer an unprecedented glimpse into her mind. Imagine deciphering these texts, hearing Cleopatra's voice echo through the centuries. Her tomb would unveil artifacts and unlock historical knowledge, changing our understanding of Cleopatra. Cleopatra VII, Philopator, a name echoing beauty, power and tragedy. Born into a kingdom on the brink of chaos, she was a princess before the legend. In 69 BC, the Ptolemaic dynasty was under Rome's control. Cleopatra's childhood was luxurious yet overshadowed by Rome. Her father, Ptolemy XIV, was a weak ruler, more concerned with pleasures. The young princess observed the vulnerability of her dynasty. Despite turmoil, Cleopatra received an exceptional education. The royal court in Alexandria attracted scholars, philosophers, and artists. Fluent in multiple languages, Cleopatra immersed herself in this intellectual haven. She spent countless hours in the Royal Library of Alexandria, studying various subjects. Engaging in debates, she conversed with learned men and women. This foundation shaped her into a shrewd strategist and captivating orator. As Cleopatra blossomed into a young woman, her intelligence and charisma became increasingly apparent, eclipsing even her brothers. Within the confines of the royal palace, whispers of rebellion began to circulate. Her father's grip on power weakened, challenged by court factions vying for control. The young princess, observant and ambitious, was acutely aware of the shifting political landscape. She witnessed the ruthlessness of her own family, the lengths to which people would go to seize and maintain power. Her own mother, Cleopatra V Tryphena, had secured her position by orchestrating the death of a rival. These experiences, though brutal, served as a harsh education in the realities of power. They ignited within her a steely determination, a will to survive and to rule. At 18, Cleopatra ascended Egypt's throne, her destiny intertwined with her crumbling kingdom. Her reign began as a fragile alliance with her brother Ptolemy XIII. Cleopatra, a woman of intellect and ambition, craved true power. She envisioned a resurgence of Egypt's former glory. Her intelligence and charisma were her weapons against Roman domination. Cleopatra balanced power, appeasing Rome while reclaiming Egypt's autonomy. Her early years on the throne were a display of political acumen. In 48 BC, a pivotal moment arrived in the form of Julius Caesar, the Roman general who had plunged the Roman Republic into civil war. Cleopatra, recognizing an opportunity, allied herself with Caesar, using her legendary charm and strategic brilliance to secure his support. Their alliance, both political and romantic, sent shockwaves through the ancient world. Caesar, captivated by Cleopatra's intellect and ambition, recognized her value as an ally in the volatile world of Roman politics. Their relationship, cemented by the birth of their son Caesarion, solidified Cleopatra's hold on power and offered Egypt a brief respite from Roman encroachment. But their alliance, built on ambition and mutual benefit, was a dangerous game. Caesar's assassination in 44 BC marked a turning point in Cleopatra's fortunes. The Roman Republic, once again plunged into turmoil, presented both a threat and an opportunity. Cleopatra set her sights on another ambitious Roman general, Mark Antony, a man of considerable power and a key player in the fight to control Rome's destiny. Their meeting, immortalized in history and legend, marked the beginning of a passionate love affair and a formidable political alliance. Together, they challenged the rising power of Octavian, Caesar's heir, their combined forces posing a significant threat to his ambition. Yet, their alliance, built on a foundation of passion and defiance, would ultimately prove to be their undoing. The Battle of Actium, a naval clash of epic proportions, sealed the fate of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Defeated by Octavian's forces, they returned to Alexandria, their dreams of a shared empire shattered. Antony, betrayed and heartbroken, took his own life. Cleopatra, facing the humiliation of capture and parade through the streets of Rome, chose a different fate. Legend tells us that she held a venomous asp to her breast, ending her own life with a final act of defiance. With her death, the Ptolemaic dynasty came to an end, and Egypt fell under the dominion of Rome. Her tomb, a symbol of her power and the enduring mystery surrounding her life, remains undiscovered, a testament to the enduring allure of this iconic queen. The sands of time have swallowed many secrets, but few hold the allure of Cleopatra's lost tomb. If discovered, it promises a glimpse into a pivotal moment in history, the fall of a dynasty and the dawn of a new era. The treasures it may hold, the stories it could tell, have the power to reshape our understanding of this iconic queen and the world she inhabited. Will we ever unlock the secrets of Cleopatra's final resting place? Will we ever stand before her sarcophagus, gazing upon the face of the woman who captivated Caesar and challenged Rome? The answer lies buried beneath the sands of Egypt, a mystery waiting to be unearthed, a queen awaiting her moment to once again captivate the world. Deep in the annals of time, long before the pyramids pierced the sky, there existed a period shrouded in mystery and wonder. We journey back to the land of the Nile, thousands of years before the rise of the First Dynasty, to a time known as Pre-dynastic Egypt. From roughly 6000 to 3150 BC, this era witnessed the birth of Egyptian civilization, a period of profound cultural and technological advancements. Imagine a land untouched by the grandeur of the later dynasties, a time when small villages dotted the Nile Valley. The Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt, played a pivotal role in shaping their destiny, providing fertile land for cultivation and a vital artery for trade and communication. Pre-dynastic Egypt, often overlooked in favour of its more illustrious successors, holds the key to understanding the very essence of ancient Egyptian civilization. It was during this formative period that many of the hallmarks of Egyptian culture first emerged, from their distinctive artistic styles to their complex religious beliefs. Their innovations in agriculture, their mastery of craft, and their early forays into social organization laid the foundation for the rise of one of the most enduring and influential civilizations the world has ever known. The legacy of pre-dynastic Egypt is not merely confined to dusty artifacts and crumbling ruins. It is a testament to the enduring power of human ingenuity. From the humble farmers and artisans to the powerful chieftains who shaped the destiny of their people, we will uncover the stories that illuminate the dawn of Egyptian civilization. Our journey into pre-dynastic Egypt begins with the Badarian culture, a people who inhabited the fertile plains of Upper Egypt from around 4500 to 4000 BC. Named after the archaeological site of El-Badari, where their remains were first unearthed, the Badarian people represent one of the earliest identifiable cultures in this ancient land. These were skilled farmers, cultivating crops such as wheat and barley along the banks of the Nile, their lives intertwined with the ebb and flow of the great river. Their pottery in particular stands as a testament to their artistic skills and technological prowess. The Badarian people are known for their distinctive black-topped pottery, a hallmark of their culture that has captivated archaeologists and art historians alike. These finely made vessels, often adorned with intricate incised decorations, were not merely utilitarian objects. They were expressions of artistry and craftsmanship. The black-topped finish, achieved through a meticulous process of firing and burnishing, created a striking contrast against the reddish-brown clay, showcasing their technical ingenuity. This trade, likely involving goods such as obsidian, precious stones, and perhaps even ideas, highlights their connection to the wider world and their role in shaping the cultural landscape of pre-dynastic Egypt. Life and death in the Badarian world offer us fascinating insights into their belief systems. They carefully buried their dead in shallow graves, often in a contracted position, accompanied by grave goods such as pottery vessels, cosmetic palettes, and personal ornaments. These offerings, intended to accompany the deceased into the afterlife, reflect their belief in a continued existence beyond the realm of the living. The presence of cosmetics suggests a desire to maintain one's appearance even in death, while the inclusion of food and drink points to a belief in the need for sustenance in the afterlife. These early expressions of social differentiation foreshadow the complex social structures that would characterize later Egyptian society. As we delve deeper into pre-dynastic Egypt, we encounter the Naqada culture, named after the modern city of Naqada, where their remains were first discovered. Flourishing from approximately 4000 to 3000 BC, the Naqada period witnessed a significant expansion in population, territory, and cultural sophistication. The Naqada people, building upon the foundations laid by their predecessors, ushered in an era of unprecedented unity and prosperity. This increased interaction fostered cultural exchange and led to the development of a more homogeneous society, paving the way for the emergence of a unified Egyptian state. The Naqada period witnessed a remarkable flourishing of art and craftsmanship, evident in their exquisitely crafted pottery, intricate jewelry, and elaborate cosmetics. Naqada pottery, distinct from its Badarian predecessor, featured a wider range of shapes and sizes, often adorned with elaborate painted decorations. These paintings offer a glimpse into their daily lives, depicting scenes of hunting, fishing, religious rituals, and even warfare. The discovery of copper tools and weapons signifies a shift towards more advanced technologies and the growing importance of warfare in their society. The seeds of complexity, social hierarchy, and the rise of elites. As the Naqada culture flourished, so too did the complexities of their social structure. Evidence suggests a growing disparity in wealth and status, with an elite class emerging to dominate the social hierarchy. This is reflected in the increasingly elaborate burials of this period, with some individuals interred in large mud-brick tombs accompanied by a wealth of grave goods. This disparity in burial practices points to a growing social stratification and the emergence of a powerful ruling class who controlled resources and commanded authority. The seeds of complexity sown during the Naqada era would blossom into the sophisticated political and social structures that characterized ancient Egyptian civilization for centuries to come. Monuments in the making, early tombs and their significance. The sands of time whisper tales of ancient rituals and beliefs, and nowhere is this more evident than in the tombs of pre-dynastic Egypt. Unlike the shallow pit graves of the earlier Badarian period, Naqada tombs began to display a greater degree of architectural complexity. Constructed from mud brick, these tombs often featured multiple chambers, providing ample space for the deceased and their funerary offerings. The inclusion of personal belongings, pottery, and food offerings within these tombs speaks volumes about their beliefs in the afterlife. These early tombs, therefore, serve as tangible expressions of their evolving cosmology and their reverence for the dead. Settlements of the soul, exploring pre-dynastic villages and homes. Beyond the realm of the dead, the settlements of the living provide further insights into the social fabric and daily lives of pre-dynastic Egyptians. Clustered along the banks of the Nile, these villages, often fortified for protection, served as hubs of agricultural activity and community life. Crafted from mud brick, the houses of this era, though simple in design, reveal a remarkable degree of practicality and resourcefulness. These settlements offer a glimpse into the social dynamics, economic activities and domestic routines that shaped the lives of these early Egyptians. The Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt, flowed through the heart of the land, shaping not only its geography but also its destiny. This mighty river, originating in the heart of Africa, carved its way northwards, dividing the land into two distinct regions, Upper and Lower Egypt. Upper Egypt, encompassing the narrow Nile Valley stretching from modern-day Aswan to Cairo, was a land of rugged cliffs, fertile floodplains and close proximity to the desert. Lower Egypt, in contrast, encompassed the sprawling Nile Delta, where the river fanned out into a network of channels before emptying into the Mediterranean Sea. Despite their geographical and cultural distinctions, Upper and Lower Egypt were inextricably linked by the Nile. This interconnectedness fostered cultural exchange and laid the groundwork for the eventual unification of the two lands under a single ruler. Upper Egypt, often referred to as Tashamau, meaning land of reeds or land of the south, was characterized by its rugged terrain and its reliance on the annual flooding of the Nile for agriculture. The rich black silt deposited by the receding floodwaters known as Kemet gave the land its fertility and earned Egypt its ancient name, Kemet, the Black Land. The people of Upper Egypt developed a deep reverence for the Nile, recognizing its life-giving properties and its central role in their cosmology. This artistic tradition, evident in their pottery, rock art and early forms of hieroglyphic writing, reflects their connection to their environment and their unique cultural identity. Lower Egypt, known as Tamehu, meaning land of the north, stood in stark contrast to its southern counterpart. The Nile Delta, a vast expanse of fertile land crisscrossed by a network of canals and lagoons, offered abundant resources and a more temperate climate. This region, open to the Mediterranean Sea, became a melting pot of cultures, influenced by trade and interactions with neighbouring civilizations. The people of Lower Egypt, surrounded by water, developed a close relationship with the sea and its bounty. The fertile lands of Lower Egypt supported a denser population compared to the south, leading to the development of larger settlements and more complex social structures. The abundance of resources and the opportunities for trade fostered economic prosperity and cultural exchange, making Lower Egypt a hub of innovation and artistic expression. Among the many artifacts unearthed from the sands of time, few hold the historical weight of the Narmer Palette. This intricately carved stone slab, dating back to around 3100 BC, provides a tangible link between pre-dynastic Egypt and the dawn of the First Dynasty. On its surface, the palette depicts a king, widely believed to be Narmer, wearing the white crown of Upper Egypt and, in another scene, the red crown of Lower Egypt. This dual depiction is highly significant, suggesting Narmer's role in unifying the two lands under his rule, marking a pivotal moment in Egyptian history. Beyond its political implications, the Narmer Palette offers valuable insights into the artistic conventions and religious beliefs of the time. The figures are depicted in a distinctive style, with exaggerated proportions and a profile view, a hallmark of Egyptian art that would endure for centuries. The presence of mythical creatures, such as intertwined serpents and a bull trampling its enemies, hints at the developing religious beliefs of the period, with animals playing a prominent role in their cosmology. This artifact, therefore, serves as a window into a pivotal moment in Egyptian history, capturing the essence of a society on the cusp of a new era. Pre-dynastic Egypt's ingenuity and resilience laid the groundwork for one of history's most enduring civilizations. From Badarian culture to Naqada societies, their innovations in agriculture, pottery and metalworking paved the way for the pharaohs. Their legacy is a testament to human creativity, shaping the course of history. Pre-dynastic Egypt, often shrouded in mystery, laid the foundation for a great civilization. From humble farmers to skilled artisans, their innovations echo through time. They transformed the landscape into a cradle of civilization. Their legacy is a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. As we marvel at ancient Egypt, remember those pioneers. Thutmose III, a name that would echo through the annals of history, a name synonymous with Egyptian military might and unparalleled leadership. But his path to glory was not straightforward. It was fraught with challenges and unexpected turns. He ascended the throne as a young boy, co-ruling with his stepmother Hatshepsut, who was a formidable force in her own right. She was a powerful woman, a rarity in Egyptian history, who defied conventions and took on the role of pharaoh. Hatshepsut assumed the full mantle of pharaoh, relegating Thutmose to the shadows, where he watched and learned. For 2 decades, he remained in the background, observing the intricacies of governance and power. This was his training ground, a period of intense learning and preparation. He honed his skills, waiting for his moment, mastering the art of warfare and leadership. Little did the world know a storm was brewing. Thutmose was biding his time, ready to unleash his potential. Hatshepsut's reign focused on peace and prosperity, bringing stability to the kingdom. She expanded trade and commissioned ambitious building projects, leaving a lasting legacy. Thutmose, however, yearned for the battlefield. His heart was set on military conquest and glory. He trained with the army, mastering weaponry and tactics, preparing for the day he would lead. He strategized, studied past campaigns, and dreamt of conquest, envisioning a vast empire under his rule. The young pharaoh in waiting was destined for greatness. His time would come, and when it did, the world would witness the rise of a legend. After 22 years, Hatshepsut died. Thutmose III, now a mature and experienced ruler, finally took sole control of Egypt. The lion, long dormant, was unleashed. He immediately embarked on a series of military campaigns. His goal? To restore Egypt's dominance and expand its borders. Thutmose was a brilliant military strategist. He was also a ruthless and efficient leader. His first target was the rebellious kingdom of Kadesh. This powerful city-state in Syria challenged Egyptian authority. Thutmose would make an example of them. He led his army north, crushing all resistance in his path. The young pharaoh was eager to prove himself. He would show the world the true might of Egypt. The Battle of Megiddo, fought in 1457 BC, would define Thutmose III's reign. This battle is often considered one of the earliest recorded military engagements in history. The walled city of Megiddo was a strategic stronghold. Its location was crucial, as it sat at the crossroads of several important trade routes. It controlled vital trade routes, making it a coveted prize for any ruler seeking to dominate the region. The king of Kadesh rallied his allies, amassing a formidable force within Megiddo's walls. This coalition of Canaanite kings posed a significant threat to Egyptian dominance. Thutmose, however, would outmaneuver them with his keen strategic mind and bold tactics. He faced 3 possible routes to reach Megiddo, each fraught with danger and potential ambushes. Thutmose, a risk-taker, chose the most perilous path, a narrow pass through the Aruna Mountains. This decision was both daring and unexpected. This unexpected move caught the enemy off guard, as they had not anticipated an approach from such a treacherous route. Thutmose's army emerged behind enemy lines, surprising the Canaanite forces and gaining a significant tactical advantage. The Egyptians, inspired by their king's audacity and leadership, fought with unmatched ferocity and determination. The Battle of Megiddo was a decisive victory for Thutmose III. This triumph not only secured his reign, but also expanded Egypt's influence in the region. It cemented his reputation as a brilliant military strategist and a fearless leader, whose legacy would be remembered for centuries. Megiddo was only the beginning. Over the next 2 decades, Thutmose III launched 17 military campaigns. He marched his armies across the ancient Near East. He subdued Nubia to the south, extending Egyptian control deep into Africa. He then turned his attention east. He conquered Syria, shattered the Mitanni kingdom, and pushed the boundaries of his empire to the Euphrates River. Thutmose was not just a conqueror, he was also a shrewd administrator. He established governorships in conquered territories. He implemented efficient systems of tribute collection. These strategies ensured the flow of wealth and resources back to Egypt. Thutmose III's reign marked the zenith of Egyptian power. Thutmose III's campaigns brought immense wealth to Egypt. Gold, silver, precious stones and exotic animals flowed into the royal coffers. He used this wealth to embellish temples, construct monuments and patronize the arts. But his strategy went beyond plunder. He took the children of conquered rulers as hostages. These royal hostages were brought to Egypt and given an Egyptian education. They learned the Egyptian language, culture and administration. This ingenious tactic served 2 purposes. It ensured the loyalty of vassal states. It also created a class of foreign officials sympathetic to Egypt. They would later govern their homelands, effectively extending Egyptian influence. Thutmose III was a prolific builder. He commissioned magnificent temples, towering obelisks, and colossal statues. He expanded the temple complex at Karnak, adding the impressive Akhmenu, a grand festival hall dedicated to his achievements. He erected obelisks throughout Egypt, inscribed with accounts of his victories. He wanted his legacy to last forever. Some of these obelisks still stand today. They serve as a reminder of his power and ambition. One such obelisk, later transported to Rome, now graces St. Peter's Square at the Vatican. Thutmose's architectural projects were not merely displays of power, they were also essential economic drivers. They provided employment for thousands of workers, stimulating the Egyptian economy. Unlike many rulers, Thutmose III did not shy away from the truth. He inscribed the walls of his monuments with detailed accounts of his campaigns. These inscriptions, known as the Annals of Thutmose III, provide valuable insights into his reign. They describe his military strategies, the ferocity of the battles, and the vast booty he collected. They also reveal his personality, a determined, ambitious, and deeply religious ruler. The Annals are not mere propaganda. They are honest accounts of a remarkable reign. They are a testament to Thutmose III's desire to preserve his legacy for eternity. Thutmose III was not just a warrior king, he was also a skilled administrator. He reformed the Egyptian bureaucracy, making it more efficient. He standardized weights and measures, facilitating trade. He invested in irrigation projects, increasing agricultural output. He patronized the arts and sciences, leading to a flourishing of culture and learning. Thutmose's reign wasn't solely defined by conquest. It was a period of peace and prosperity. His administrative reforms had a lasting impact on Egypt. They ensured stability and economic growth for generations to come. After over 3 decades of rule, Thutmose III died in 1425 BC. He left behind a vast and stable empire. He was laid to rest in the Valley of the Kings, surrounded by the splendor befitting his status. His son Amenhotep II inherited a prosperous and powerful kingdom. Thutmose's legacy, however, extended far beyond his bloodline. He was remembered as the epitome of the warrior pharaoh, a ruler who expanded Egypt's borders and filled its coffers. His name resonated through the ages, a byword for military genius and administrative acumen. Thebes, the heart of ancient Egypt. Nestled on the banks of the Nile, Thebes was more than just a city. It was the beating heart of a civilization, showcasing human ambition, faith and artistry. Join us as we uncover the rich history and significance of this ancient city, exploring its grand temples, its royal tombs, and its pivotal role in shaping the story of ancient Egypt. Thebes, even in its ruined state, whispers of a time when it was the religious epicenter of ancient Egypt, particularly during the powerful New Kingdom. Imagine a city alive with the sound of priestly chants, the air thick with the scent of incense burning in honor of Amun-Ra, the king of the gods. Here, within the colossal Karnak temple complex, the Egyptians paid homage to their deities in ceremonies of unparalleled grandeur. The temple, a sprawling testament to their faith, grew over centuries, each pharaoh adding his own mark to this sacred landscape. Luxor Temple, bathed in the golden glow of the setting sun, was a place for ordinary Egyptians to connect with the divine. Together, these two temples formed the spiritual heart of Thebes, a place where the earthly and the divine intertwined. The ancient Egyptians believed in a life after death, a belief reflected in the grandeur of their tombs. Just across the Nile, on the west bank, lies the Theban necropolis, a city of the dead as magnificent as the city of the living. Here, in the Valley of the Kings and the Valley of the Queens, pharaohs and their consorts were laid to rest, surrounded by treasures they believed would accompany them into the afterlife. The tomb of Tutankhamun, a relatively minor pharaoh, yielded a treasure trove of artifacts that captivated the world's imagination. But perhaps even more impressive are the elaborate tombs of rulers like Seti I and Ramses VI, their walls adorned with vibrant scenes from the Book of the Dead. Dotting the landscape are the mortuary temples, grand structures built not for the dead but for their memory. These temples, along with the royal tombs, stand as silent sentinels, guarding the secrets of Egypt's past. For centuries, Thebes was more than just a religious center. It was the vibrant heart of a nation, the capital of a mighty empire. Imagine the bustling streets of Thebes during its zenith, a time when it was known as the City of 100 Gates. Thebes' rise to prominence began during the Middle Kingdom, when Mentuhotep II reunited the two lands after a period of division. He moved the capital to Thebes, laying the foundation for its future glory. But it was during the New Kingdom that Thebes truly flourished, reaching the pinnacle of its power and influence. Under the rule of powerful pharaohs like Thutmose III and Amenhotep III, Thebes became a metropolis, a hub of international trade and a center of art and culture. The city's wealth was evident in its grand temples, its opulent palaces, and the luxurious lifestyle of its elite. Yet, even after losing its political dominance, Thebes remained a city of immense religious and cultural significance, a testament to its glorious past. Few sights on earth can compare to the awe-inspiring grandeur of the Karnak temple complex. Imagine standing before this colossal structure, its towering pylons reaching towards the heavens, a symbol of human devotion and architectural genius. Karnak was not simply a temple, it was a city within a city, a complex of temples, chapels and monuments dedicated to the Theban triad Amun-Ra, Mut and Khonsu. The hypostyle hall, with its forest of massive columns, is perhaps the most iconic image of Karnak. The construction of Karnak spanned over 2 millennia, with each successive pharaoh feeling compelled to leave his mark on this sacred complex. From the massive pylons and obelisks to the intricate reliefs and inscriptions that adorn its walls, Karnak stands as a testament to the ambition, ingenuity and deep religious fervour of the ancient Egyptians. The story of Thebes is not just one of religious devotion and architectural grandeur, it is also a story of conflict and resilience. Thebes found itself at the heart of several pivotal moments in Egyptian history, times when the very existence of the kingdom was threatened. One such period was the Second Intermediate Period, a time of turmoil and division when Egypt fell under the rule of the Hyksos, a foreign power from the Levant. The Hyksos, with their superior weaponry and military tactics, conquered much of Lower Egypt, pushing the native Egyptian rulers south. Thebes, however, refused to submit. Theban rulers, seeing themselves as the true heirs to the pharaonic legacy, waged a long and bloody war against the Hyksos, a conflict that would determine the fate of Egypt. Finally, under the leadership of Ahmose I, the founder of the 18th dynasty, the Egyptians triumphed. Ahmose I, a Theban prince, drove the Hyksos out of Egypt, reuniting the two lands and ushering in a new era of Egyptian power and prosperity. Thebes, at its zenith, was more than just a political and religious capital. It was the cultural heart of ancient Egypt, a city alive with creativity and artistic innovation. Imagine the workshops of Thebes, filled with skilled artisans, sculptors, painters, weavers, their hands bringing life to stone, wood and fabric, transforming them into works of breathtaking beauty. The tombs and temples of the Theban necropolis offer a glimpse into this vibrant artistic tradition. The walls of these structures are adorned with intricate murals and carvings, each one a masterpiece that speaks volumes about the artistic skill and the religious beliefs of the ancient Egyptians. Theban artists and craftsmen were renowned throughout the ancient world for their skill. Thebes became a centre for the production of luxury goods, from exquisite jewellery and finely crafted furniture to colourful textiles and beautifully painted pottery. Thebes' rise to prominence was fuelled, in part, by its strategic location. Situated on the banks of the Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt, Thebes controlled the agricultural wealth of the surrounding region. Thebes' location also made it a natural hub for trade. Caravans laden with exotic goods from Nubia to the south and Punt to the east converged on Thebes, bringing with them gold, ivory, ebony, incense and other treasures. The wealth generated by this trade enriched the city, filling the coffers of the pharaohs and enabling them to embark on ambitious building projects and military campaigns. The opulence of Thebes was evident in its grand temples and monuments, its luxurious palaces and the lavish lifestyle of its elite. Even the mightiest of empires are not immune to the tides of time. Thebes, for centuries the heart of a civilization, eventually experienced a slow decline, its power and influence waning as new powers rose to prominence in the ancient world. The first blow came in 663 BCE, when the Assyrian king Ashurbanipal sacked Thebes. The Assyrians, a ruthless and efficient military force, had conquered much of the Near East, and Egypt, weakened by internal strife and economic decline, was unable to withstand their onslaught. The sack of Thebes by the Assyrians was a traumatic event for the Egyptians. The city, once considered invincible, was plundered and burned, its temples desecrated, its treasures carried off to Assyria as spoils of war. Thebes never fully recovered from the Assyrian sack. Centuries later, under Roman rule, Thebes was again sacked, this time after a revolt against Roman authority. Thebes may lie in ruins, its grand temples and palaces reduced to rubble, but its story continues to resonate across the millennia. The remains of this once great city, spread across the modern-day city of Luxor, are now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a testament to their enduring historical, architectural and cultural significance. The Karnak and Luxor temple complexes, the Valley of the Kings, the Valley of the Queens, and the numerous other tombs, temples and monuments scattered across the Theban necropolis offer an unparalleled glimpse into the world of ancient Egypt. Today, Thebes is one of Egypt's most popular tourist destinations, attracting visitors from all corners of the globe. Thebes was more than just a physical city. It was a powerful symbol woven deeply into the fabric of Egyptian mythology and religious belief. The Egyptians believed that Thebes was the earthly counterpart of the primordial mound that emerged from the waters of chaos at the beginning of creation. It was here, in the heart of Thebes, that the god Amun-Ra, the king of the gods, was said to have first emerged, bringing light and order to the world. Thebes' association with Amun-Ra elevated it to a position of supreme religious significance. The Opet festival, one of the most important events in the Egyptian religious calendar, was celebrated annually in Thebes. Thebes, in the eyes of the ancient Egyptians, was a sacred city, a place where the boundaries between the earthly and the divine were blurred. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the ancient city of Thebes. From its grand temples that scraped the sky to the whispers of pharaohs in the Valley of the Kings, Thebes stands as a testament to human ambition, ingenuity, and the enduring power of belief. The sands of time have long concealed the daily lives of those who lived in ancient Egypt. Yet beneath the scorching desert sun, whispers from the past remain. Tombs, adorned with intricate paintings and carvings, offer us a unique window into their world. These vibrant scenes, preserved for thousands of years, provide a glimpse into the lives of ancient Egyptians, including their children. The Egyptians believed in life after death, a realm mirroring their earthly existence. They meticulously decorated their tombs with scenes from their daily lives, hoping to carry these experiences into the afterlife. These images, frozen in time, offer us invaluable insights into their customs, beliefs, and even the games their children played. Stepping into the painted chambers of ancient Egyptian tombs is like stepping back in time. We are transported to a world teeming with activity where children are not merely passive observers but active participants in the bustle of daily life. The tombs, particularly those from the Old and Middle Kingdoms, are replete with scenes of children engaging in various activities. These images reveal a society that cherished childhood and recognized the importance of play. Children are often depicted alongside adults participating in chores and celebrations. Their presence in these scenes suggests a close-knit family structure where children were integral members of the household and community. The tomb of Mereruka, a high-ranking official from the 6th dynasty, offers a captivating glimpse into the world of ancient Egyptian children. Among the many vibrant scenes adorning its walls, we find depictions of children engaged in playful acrobatics. These agile youngsters twist and contort their bodies into impressive poses, showcasing their flexibility and balance. One scene depicts a group of children forming a human pyramid, their small bodies balanced precariously atop one another. Another shows a young girl gracefully arched backward, her hands touching the ground behind her. These acrobatic displays were not merely forms of amusement. They were likely part of religious festivals and celebrations, adding an element of spectacle and entertainment to these important events. The rock-cut tombs of Beni Hassan, dating back to the Middle Kingdom, provide further evidence of the importance of movement and dance in ancient Egyptian culture. These tombs, carved meticulously into the cliffs, stand as silent witnesses to the vibrant life that once thrived here. The tombs, belonging to provincial governors, feature scenes of children engaged in a whirling dance, their bodies spinning and twirling with joyous abandon. These images capture the essence of youthful exuberance and the communal spirit of the time. Similarly, the tomb of Keti showcases children caught in mid-twirl, their colourful garments swirling around them like vibrant blossoms. The vivid colours and dynamic poses bring these ancient scenes to life, allowing us to glimpse the past. These whirling dances, likely accompanied by music and rhythmic clapping, were not only a form of entertainment but also a way for children to express themselves creatively and connect with their cultural heritage. Through these dances, they celebrated their identity and passed down traditions from one generation to the next, ensuring the continuity of their rich cultural tapestry. The scorching Egyptian sun dictated much of daily life, and clothing was no exception. The intense heat and relentless sun shaped the way ancient Egyptians dressed, influencing their choice of materials and styles. Ancient Egyptian children, much like their adult counterparts, donned light and airy garments suited to the hot climate. These garments were designed to keep them cool and comfortable, allowing them to go about their daily activities without being hindered by the oppressive heat. Linen, a fabric woven from the flax plant, was the material of choice, its breathable nature providing comfort in the sweltering heat. The process of weaving linen was an essential skill, passed down through generations, ensuring that everyone had access to this vital fabric. Young children, particularly boys, were often depicted wearing little to no clothing, their bare skin allowing them to stay cool under the desert sun. This minimalistic approach to clothing was practical and efficient, helping them avoid overheating. Girls, as they grew older, would wear simple linen dresses, often held up by straps over the shoulders. These dresses were not only functional, but also allowed for a degree of modesty as they transitioned into adulthood. These lightweight garments allowed for ease of movement, essential for active children engaged in play and exploration. The freedom of movement provided by their clothing enabled them to fully enjoy their childhood, exploring the world around them without restriction. The ancient Egyptian concept of childhood extended beyond mere survival. It encompassed play and imagination. Archaeological excavations at Kahun, a workers' town associated with the pyramid of Senusret II, have unearthed a treasure trove of children's toys, providing tangible evidence of their playful pursuits. Among the finds are balls made of woven fibres, their simple construction belying hours of fun spent tossing and catching. Wooden sticks, resembling miniature javelins, hint at games of skill and accuracy, while small carved figurines of animals ignite the imagination, transporting children to a world of make-believe. These toys, simple yet enduring, offer a poignant reminder that the desire for play transcends time and culture. Play in ancient Egypt was not limited to physical activity, it also encompassed games of skill and strategy. These games were an integral part of daily life and were enjoyed by both the young and the old. Board games, in particular, were popular pastimes, enjoyed by people of all ages, including children. These games were often played in the evenings or during festivals, bringing families and communities together. Two of the most well-known ancient Egyptian board games are Senet and Mehen. These games have been discovered in various archaeological sites, indicating their widespread popularity. Senet, a game of strategy played on a long, narrow board with 30 squares, involved moving pieces according to the roll of dice. The game required careful planning and foresight to outmaneuver opponents. The game, often found depicted in tomb paintings, was believed to have religious significance, representing the journey of the soul through the afterlife. It was thought that mastering Senet could help one navigate the challenges of the afterlife. Mayhen, named after the snake god, was played on a circular board resembling a coiled serpent. The unique design of the board added an extra layer of complexity to the game. Players would move their pieces around the board, attempting to capture their opponent's pieces. The game required strategic thinking and a deep understanding of the rules to succeed. These games not only provided entertainment, but also honed children's cognitive skills and strategic thinking. They were a vital part of education, teaching important life skills through play. The Nile River, the lifeblood of ancient Egypt, was not only a source of sustenance but also a playground for children seeking respite from the desert heat. Swimming was a popular activity, and tomb scenes often depict children frolicking in the river's cool waters. One scene shows a group of children splashing and playing in the shallows, their laughter echoing through the ages. Another depicts children swimming alongside adults, their bodies sleek and agile in the water. The Nile, despite its inherent dangers, provided a much-needed escape from the scorching sun, offering children a chance to cool off, socialize, and engage in carefree play. The scenes etched into the walls of ancient Egyptian tombs offer us a poignant and enduring glimpse into the lives of children who lived thousands of years ago. These images, imbued with a sense of timelessness, remind us that childhood, with its inherent joys and wonder, transcends time and cultural boundaries. While our knowledge of ancient Egyptian childhood remains fragmentary, these glimpses into their world paint a picture of a society that valued play, creativity, and the importance of family. The toys they cherished, the games they played, and the laughter that undoubtedly filled their days are testaments to the universality of childhood experiences. Deep in the heart of Nubia, where the Nile River flows through the sands of time, lies a land steeped in history and mystery. This ancient region, with its vast deserts and fertile riverbanks, has been a cradle of civilization for millennia. Here stand the colossal temples of Abu Simbel, a marvel of ancient engineering and artistry. These towering monuments, carved directly into the sandstone cliffs, are guarded by 4 colossal statues of Ramesses II. Each statue, with its intricate details and imposing presence, tells the story of a time when pharaohs ruled with divine authority. Their imposing figures, each reaching over 65 feet in height, have captivated travelers and explorers for centuries. These statues are not just stone carvings, they are a testament to the grandeur and ambition of ancient Egypt. Abu Simbel is more than just a temple complex. It's a testament to the power and ambition of one of ancient Egypt's most celebrated pharaohs. The walls of the temples are adorned with intricate hieroglyphics and carvings that depict the might and achievements of Ramesses II. The temple's location was strategically chosen. Nestled on the border between Egypt and Nubia, it served as a sentinel, watching over the lands and resources that were vital to the kingdom's prosperity. It sits on the border between Egypt and Nubia, a region rich in gold and other resources. The Nile River, flowing serenely nearby, was a lifeline, providing water, transportation and sustenance to the people of this ancient land. The imposing facade served as a powerful statement to any who dared to enter Egypt's southern frontier. It was a declaration of strength and a warning to potential invaders. It declared the might and authority of Ramesses II, reminding all of his dominion over these lands. The inscriptions and carvings are not just decorative, they are a chronicle of a ruler's legacy, etched in stone for eternity. As the sun sets over Abu Simbel, casting long shadows over the statues, one can't help but feel a sense of awe. The guardians of Nubia stand as silent sentinels, watching over the land and its people, a reminder of a glorious past that continues to inspire and captivate. Under the starlit sky, the temples of Abu Simbel come alive with a mystical glow. The guardians of Nubia, bathed in the soft light, seem almost ethereal, as if whispering the secrets of the ages to those who listen. Visitors from around the world come to witness this marvel, their faces reflecting the wonder and admiration that these ancient guardians inspire. The legacy of Rameses II and the grandeur of Abu Simbel continue to leave an indelible mark on all who behold them. Rameses II, who reigned from 1279 to 1213 BC, is considered one of Egypt's greatest pharaohs. His reign was marked by ambitious building projects, military campaigns, and a flourishing of art and culture. Abu Simbel, his most impressive architectural achievement, was intended to immortalize his legacy and honor the gods of ancient Egypt. Over time, the sands of the desert swallowed Abu Simbel. The temples lay forgotten for centuries, their existence known only through local legends. Then, in 1813, Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt stumbled upon the site. He was captivated by the sight of the colossal statues peeking out from beneath the sand. A monumental rescue, the Great Relocation. In the 1960s, the construction of the Aswan High Dam posed a significant threat to Abu Simbel. The rising waters of Lake Nasser, the reservoir created by the dam, would have submerged the temples entirely.
To save this ancient wonder, UNESCO launched an unprecedented international rescue operation. The temples were carefully cut into massive blocks, each weighing between 20 and 30 tons. These blocks were then transported and reassembled on higher ground 200 feet above the original site.
The relocation was a remarkable feat of engineering and international cooperation, ensuring the preservation of Abu Simbel for generations to come. The temples of Abu Simbel are not just architectural marvels, they are a testament to the grandeur and ambition of ancient Egyptian civilization. Nestled on the western bank of Lake Nasser, these temples have stood the test of time, witnessing the rise and fall of empires. Abu Simbel consists of two temples. These monumental structures were originally carved out of the mountainside during the reign of Pharaoh Rameses II in the 13th century BC. They were intended to demonstrate the power and divine nature of the pharaoh. The larger temple, the Great Temple, is dedicated to Rameses II himself, as well as the gods Amun, Ra-Horakhti and Ptah. The facade of the Great Temple is dominated by four colossal statues of Rameses II, each standing over 20 meters tall, gazing out across the desert. The interior is a labyrinth of halls and chambers adorned with intricate reliefs and towering statues. These halls were designed to impress and inspire awe, with every surface covered in detailed carvings that tell the story of Rameses II's reign and his divine right to rule.
The small temple, is dedicated to Rameses II's beloved wife, Queen Nefertari, and the goddess Hathor. This temple is equally impressive, with its own set of statues and carvings that celebrate the queen's beauty and grace. The walls of both temples are covered in detailed carvings. These carvings are not just decorative, they are a visual record of the beliefs, achievements, and daily life of the ancient Egyptians. These carvings depict scenes from Rameses II's reign, including his military victories, religious ceremonies, and family life. They provide a glimpse into the world of ancient Egypt, showing us the pharaoh's prowess in battle, his devotion to the gods, and his role as a family man.
The vibrant colors, miraculously preserved for millennia, bring these ancient stories to life. The hues of red, blue, yellow, and green are as vivid today as they were thousands of years ago, allowing us to connect with the past in a way that words alone cannot convey. As we explore these temples, we are not just looking at stone and paint. We are stepping into a world that has been carefully crafted to honor the gods and immortalize the legacy of one of Egypt's greatest pharaohs. One of the most remarkable features of Abu Simbel is its astronomical alignment. Twice a year, on February 22nd and October 22nd, the rising sun penetrates the great temple's inner sanctuary. The sunlight illuminates the statues of Ramesses II and the gods Amun and Ra-Horakhti, bathing them in a golden glow. This phenomenon, a testament to the ancient Egyptians' advanced understanding of astronomy, is believed to have coincided with significant events in Ramesses II's reign, such as his coronation or the start of the harvest season. The story of Abu Simbel is one of survival against all odds. Over the millennia, the temples have withstood the ravages of time, including natural disasters such as sandstorms and earthquakes. Yet they have remained remarkably well preserved, a testament to the skill and dedication of the ancient builders. From its creation by a powerful pharaoh to its rediscovery by intrepid explorers and its ultimate relocation to escape the rising waters, the history of Abu Simbel is a tale of human ingenuity and perseverance. The temples are a source of inspiration, reminding us of the incredible achievements of the past and the importance of preserving our cultural heritage. It serves as a powerful reminder of the enduring legacy of ancient Egypt and the importance of preserving our shared cultural heritage for generations to come. The ongoing preservation efforts at Abu Simbel ensure that this remarkable site will continue to inspire and educate people for many years to come. As we look to the future, we must remain committed to protecting and celebrating the rich history and cultural achievements of our ancestors. The Nile, lifeblood of ancient Egypt, its waters a source of sustenance, its rhythm a heartbeat echoing through the ages. For the ancient Egyptians, life was a tapestry woven with music and motion, dance an inseparable part of their world. From grand ceremonies to intimate gatherings, dance punctuated their existence. A celebration of life, a bridge to the divine. Imagine the sun-drenched land thousands of years ago. Hear the echoes of drums and flutes carried on the desert breeze. Picture the vibrant colours, the swirling fabrics, the rhythmic movements of dancers. This was ancient Egypt, a civilization that embraced dance in all its forms. Dance was not merely entertainment, it was a language, a way to communicate with the gods, to honour their pharaohs, to express joy and sorrow. It was woven into the very fabric of their society, a testament to their deep connection with the rhythms of life and the cosmos. The walls of ancient Egyptian tombs and temples whisper stories. Stories told not just in hieroglyphs and carvings, but in vibrant images of dancers. These paintings, frozen moments in time, offer a glimpse into the past. They capture the grace, the athleticism, and the sheer joy of dance in ancient Egypt. Look closely at the murals. Notice the elegant postures of the dancers, their limbs contorted in seemingly impossible positions. See the energy radiating from their bodies, the smiles on their faces. These images are not mere decorations, they are snapshots of a culture that lived and breathed dance. The tombs of the nobles are particularly revealing. Here, scenes of daily life unfold, including depictions of dancers entertaining at banquets. These images show us that dance was not just for rituals and ceremonies, it was also a part of everyday life, a source of pleasure and amusement. The evidence is clear. Dance was ubiquitous in ancient Egypt, permeating every level of society. From the pharaoh to the peasant, everyone danced. In the ancient Egyptian worldview, dance held cosmic significance. It was believed to have played a role in the creation of the universe. The god Osiris, often depicted as a mummified king, was also a god of vegetation and rebirth. His annual festival included dances that celebrated the cycle of life, death, and resurrection. Pharaohs used dance to assert their authority and connect with the divine. They performed rituals and dances to reinforce their status as intermediaries. These performances were grand spectacles designed to inspire awe. The said festival was a jubilee celebration performed by pharaohs after 30 years of rule. It included rituals and dances to rejuvenate the pharaoh's strength. Dance was a powerful tool to connect with the divine and ensure cosmic order. Who were these dancers who moved with such grace and precision? They came from all walks of life. Some were priests and priestesses trained from childhood to perform sacred rituals. Others were professional entertainers hired to perform at banquets and festivals. Among the most skilled and revered dancers were the women of the House of Music. These women, often attached to temples, dedicated their lives to music and dance. They were highly trained musicians, singers and dancers, and their performances were considered to be offerings to the gods. There were also specialized dancers, such as the Mu dancers, who performed acrobatic dances, and the dwarf dancers, who were often employed by the wealthy for their entertainment value. Regardless of their status, all dancers played an important role in Egyptian society, using their bodies and movements to connect with the divine, to entertain, and to tell stories. The ancient Egyptians were masters of adornment, and dance costumes were no exception. From the simplest linen kilts to elaborate headdresses and jewellery, dancers adorned themselves in ways that enhanced their movements and added to the visual spectacle. Female dancers often wore long, flowing dresses made of sheer linen. These dresses, sometimes pleated or draped, allowed for freedom of movement while still revealing the contours of the body. They might also wear beaded nets or vests over their dresses, adding another layer of texture and sparkle. Headdresses were an important part of the costume, often signifying the dancer's role or status. Some dancers wore simple wreaths of flowers, while others donned elaborate headdresses made of feathers, beads, and precious metals. These headdresses, some reaching several feet in height, would have swayed and shimmered with the dancer's every move. Dancers also wore jewellery, both real and costume. Necklaces, earrings, bracelets, and anklets all added to the visual impact of the performance. The jingle of these ornaments provided a rhythmic accompaniment to the music and enhanced the dancer's movements. No discussion of ancient Egyptian dance would be complete without mentioning the music. Music and dance were inseparable, each enhancing and complementing the other. The ancient Egyptians had a rich musical tradition, and their instruments were as varied as their dances. Percussion instruments played a central role, providing the driving rhythms that fueled the dances. Drums of various sizes and shapes were essential. Some were played with the hands, others with sticks. Clappers, cymbals, and sistrums, a type of rattle, added to the percussive texture. Wind instruments such as flutes, oboes, and clarinets provided melodies and harmonies. The flute, in particular, was a popular instrument, its haunting sound evocative of both joy and sorrow. String instruments such as harps, lyres, and lutes added depth and richness to the music. Imagine the sound of these instruments combined with the rhythmic clapping and chanting of the audience. The music would have been both exhilarating and hypnotic, transporting the dancers and viewers alike to another realm. Dance in ancient Egypt was not limited to religious rituals and funerary rites. It was also an integral part of celebrations, festivals, and everyday life. Dances were performed to celebrate births, marriages, harvests, and victories in battle. One of the most important festivals was the annual flooding of the Nile. This event, upon which all life in Egypt depended, was celebrated with great joy and abandon. Dances were performed to honor Hapi, the god of the Nile, and to ensure a bountiful harvest. Fertility dances, often performed by women, were another important genre. These dances, meant to ensure the continuation of life and the prosperity of the land, were characterized by their sensuality and earthiness. They often involved gestures and movements that mimicked the act of procreation. These celebratory dances, filled with joy, energy, and a zest for life, remind us that the ancient Egyptians, while deeply spiritual, also knew how to have fun. Death for the ancient Egyptians was not an end but a transition. It was a journey to the afterlife, a realm where the deceased would live on in spirit form. Dance played a crucial role in these funerary rituals, helping to guide the deceased on their journey and to ensure their safe passage to the underworld. Mourners often performed dances expressing grief and lamenting the loss of their loved ones. These dances, slow and mournful, were often accompanied by the wailing of mourners and the playing of flutes. Other dances, performed by priests and priestesses, were intended to appease the gods and to ensure the deceased's safe passage to the afterlife. These dances were often highly ritualized, involving specific steps, gestures, and incantations. One of the most important funerary rituals was the opening of the mouth ceremony. This ritual, intended to restore the deceased's senses and allow them to eat, drink, and speak in the afterlife, involved a series of symbolic gestures, including the use of a ritual adze to touch the mouth of the deceased's mummy or statue. The sands of time have buried much of ancient Egyptian civilization, yet the echoes of their dances still resonate. We find them in the graceful movements of belly dance, a dance form with roots in ancient Egyptian rituals and traditions. The undulating torso, the fluid arm movements, the emphasis on feminine grace and sensuality. These elements of belly dance can be traced back to the dances depicted in ancient Egyptian art. While the exact steps and movements have evolved over the centuries, the essence of ancient Egyptian dance lives on. The influence of ancient Egyptian dance can also be seen in other art forms, from the stylized movements of Egyptian folk dances to the choreography of modern ballets and operas inspired by ancient Egyptian themes. Dance in ancient Egypt was more than just entertainment. It was a way of life, a language, a bridge to the divine. Through dance, the ancient Egyptians expressed their deepest beliefs and connected with the rhythms of the cosmos. The legacy of ancient Egyptian dance lives on in the images carved on tombs and temples. As we gaze upon the pyramids and temples, let us remember the dances that once animated these spaces. Let us marvel at the enduring power of dance to connect us to the past. The Nile, a river that flows north, bringing life to a desert. For thousands of years it shaped Egypt, its floods both awe-inspiring and essential. From fertile delta to arid desert, the Nile is a lifeline. The Nile's bounty allowed for the development of one of the world's first civilizations. Ancient Egypt, a land of pharaohs, pyramids, and powerful gods, emerged from the fertile banks of this mighty river. The Nile's waters provided sustenance, its floods brought fertility, and its navigable waters facilitated trade and communication. This allowed for the growth of cities, the development of complex social structures, and the flourishing of art, science, and religion. The ancient Egyptians lived in harmony with the river's rhythm. adapting their lives to its ebb and flow. Their calendar, their agriculture, and even their beliefs were intertwined with the Nile's cycles. It was more than just a river. It was the very foundation of their existence. To the ancient Egyptians, the Nile was not merely a river, it was a divine entity, a god whose benevolence sustained their very existence. They called him Hapi, the god of the annual flood, depicted as a benevolent figure with a large belly and pendulous breasts, symbolizing fertility and abundance. Temples were erected in his honor, and elaborate rituals were performed to appease him and ensure the timely arrival of the annual flood. Offerings of food, flowers, and precious metals were made, and hymns were sung praising his life-giving waters. The pharaoh, considered the divine ruler and intermediary between the gods and the people, played a crucial role in these rituals. His connection to the divine was believed to influence the Nile's favor, ensuring the prosperity of the land and its people. The Nile's annual flood cycle dictated life in ancient Egypt. It marked the start of the agricultural year. Egyptians created a calendar based on its 3 seasons. Akhet, the inundation season, was a time of celebration. The Nile's silt renewed the land's vitality. Pere, the growing season, followed. Shemu, the harvest season, marked abundance and gratitude. The cultural significance of the Nile is deeply etched into the very fabric of ancient Egyptian civilization. It is evident in their art, their architecture, and their beliefs. Tomb paintings depict scenes of life along the riverbanks, showcasing the abundance it brought. Monumental architecture, such as the pyramids and temples, were often aligned with the Nile's flow, further emphasizing its centrality in their worldview. The orientation of these structures suggests a deep reverence for the river's journey from south to north, mirroring the sun's path across the sky. The Nile's influence extended even to the afterlife. The Egyptians believed that the soul, after death, journeyed westward across the Nile, mirroring the sun's journey into the underworld. This belief is reflected in the layout of tombs and the placement of funerary goods. The ancient Egyptians wove intricate myths to explain the Nile's floods. One such myth tells of Isis and her beloved Osiris. Osiris, murdered by his brother Set, was dismembered. Isis searched tirelessly for his remains. Her tears overflowed the Nile, causing the annual flood. Each year her tears replenished the land, bringing life to Egypt. Another legend tells of Sekhmet, the fierce lion goddess of war and healing, and her role in the Nile's floods. According to the myth, Sekhmet, enraged by the disrespect shown to her father, the sun god Ra, unleashed her fiery wrath upon humanity. Her fury was so intense that she scorched the earth, turning the Nile blood-red. Fearing for the annihilation of humankind, Ra intervened, tricking Sekhmet into drinking a vast quantity of beer mixed with red ochre, resembling blood. Intoxicated, Sekhmet's rage subsided and she transformed into Hathor, the benevolent goddess of love and music. The red-tinged beer, symbolizing the floodwaters, flowed from her, replenishing the Nile and saving humanity from her wrath. The Nile's significance transcended the earthly realm, playing a crucial role in the Egyptian afterlife beliefs. They believed that the Nile flowed through the underworld, the Duat, providing sustenance to the souls residing there. The deceased, embarking on their perilous journey through the underworld, relied on the Nile's waters for sustenance and guidance. Funerary texts, such as the Book of the Dead, contain spells and hymns meant to ensure safe passage across the celestial Nile. The Nile, in this context, represented not only physical sustenance but also spiritual renewal and rebirth. Just as it brought life to the land of Egypt, it also nourished the souls in the afterlife, ensuring their continued existence in the realm beyond death. The lifeblood of ancient Egypt, the Nile's annual flood, was a spectacle as predictable as the rising sun. Every year, like clockwork, the river would swell, engulfing its banks and transforming the arid landscape into a fertile expanse of water. This inundation, far from being feared, was eagerly anticipated. The ancient Egyptians, with their keen sense of observation, had developed a deep understanding of the river's rhythm. They knew that the flood, though appearing destructive, was the source of their prosperity. The floodwaters, originating from the heavy rains in the Ethiopian highlands, would arrive in Egypt around June, reaching their peak in September. As the waters receded, they left behind a rich deposit of silt, a fertile layer of sediment that acted as a natural fertilizer. The ancient Egyptians recognized the source of their bounty, referring to the southern lands as Taseti, meaning the land of the bow. They understood that the floods were a gift from these distant lands. Expeditions were sent south to explore the river's origins, seeking to understand the forces that governed its flow. These journeys, though fraught with peril, provided valuable knowledge about the Nile's tributaries and the annual rainfall patterns that dictated the flood's intensity. The Egyptians developed sophisticated systems to measure the Nile's rise and fall, constructing nilometers, graduated stone structures placed within the river or nearby wells. These structures allowed them to predict the height of the flood and anticipate the year's harvest. The Nile's annual flood cycle, predictable and life-giving, shaped the rhythm of life in ancient Egypt. It dictated the agricultural calendar, the construction projects, and even the religious festivals. During the inundation, when the fields were submerged, farmers would engage in other activities, like repairing their tools, tending to their livestock, or working on construction projects for the pharaoh. The flood season provided a period of relative respite from the demanding work of agriculture. As the floodwaters receded, the land, rejuvenated by the rich silt deposits, was ready for planting. Farmers would sow their crops, anticipating a bountiful harvest in the months to come. The success of their harvest depended on the Nile's generosity, a testament to their symbiotic relationship with the river. The lifeblood of ancient Egypt's agriculture was not just the Nile's water, but the rich, fertile silt it deposited with each annual flood. This black, nutrient-rich sediment, carried from the highlands of Ethiopia, held the key to the civilization's agricultural success. Unlike the alluvial soils of other river valleys, which often required years of cultivation to become fertile, the Nile's silt was immediately productive. As the floodwaters receded, they left behind a layer of this fertile sediment, ready to nourish a variety of crops. The Egyptians recognized the silt's importance, referring to it as Kemet, which means black land, a testament to its fertility and their connection to it. This black soil stood in stark contrast to the Deshret, the red land of the surrounding desert, highlighting its life-giving properties. To maximize the benefits of the Nile's annual inundation, the ancient Egyptians developed an ingenious system of basin irrigation. This method involved dividing the land into a series of rectangular basins, surrounded by earthen dikes, to capture and hold the floodwaters. As the Nile rose, Water would be channeled into these basins through a network of canals, carefully controlled to ensure even distribution. The floodwaters, laden with silt, would be allowed to sit in these basins for several weeks, saturating the soil and depositing their fertile load. Once the floodwaters receded, the basins, now filled with moist, fertile soil, were ready for planting. Farmers would sow a variety of crops, including barley, wheat, flax, and vegetables, taking advantage of the naturally irrigated and fertilized land. Egyptians developed perennial irrigation for year-round cultivation. This allowed them to grow crops even during the dry season. The shaduf, a lever system, was commonly used to lift water. Canals and ditches channeled water from the Nile to fields. These ingenious irrigation techniques, coupled with the fertile Nile silt, allowed the ancient Egyptians to cultivate a diverse range of crops, sustaining a large population and contributing to the civilization's prosperity. The staple crops of ancient Egypt were barley and wheat, used to make bread, beer and porridge. Flax, another important crop, was used to produce linen, a valuable textile for clothing and other purposes. Vegetables such as onions, garlic, lentils and lettuce added variety to their diet. The Egyptians also cultivated a variety of fruits, including grapes, figs, dates and pomegranates, which provided essential vitamins and sweetness. These fruits, often depicted in tomb paintings and offerings to the gods, were highly valued and considered symbols of abundance and prosperity. The Nile, once a force of nature, entered a new era in the 20th century, the age of dams. The Aswan High Dam, completed in 1970, altered the river's natural flood cycle. It brought significant changes, including irrigation, hydroelectric power and flood control. However, the dam's construction came at a cost. The silt now trapped no longer replenished farmlands downstream. The end of the natural flood cycle brought about a new set of challenges. The once fertile soils, deprived of the annual silt deposits, became increasingly saline and less productive over time. The absence of the flood's natural flushing action led to the buildup of salts in the soil, impacting crop yields. The construction of the Aswan High Dam, while providing undeniable benefits, also had ecological consequences. The Nile Delta, once a vibrant ecosystem nourished by the annual influx of nutrients, began to erode, deprived of the silt that once replenished its shores. The dam also impacted the populations of certain fish species, like the sardine, which relied on the annual flood cycle for their breeding grounds. The altered flow of the Nile disrupted their migration patterns, leading to a decline in their numbers. The Nile, the river that gave birth to Egyptian civilization, continues to flow, a silent witness to time's passage. Its legacy is etched into the soul of Egypt. The ancient Egyptians' reverence and ingenious methods inspire awe. The Nile's story reminds us of nature's power and our responsibility. Ancient Egypt, a civilization that has fascinated historians, archaeologists, and the general public for centuries. The land of pharaohs and pyramids, a place where the sands of time have preserved the grandeur of a bygone era, a place full of mystery and wonder. The ancient ruins whisper tales of gods and kings, of life and death. But behind the giant monuments and strange hieroglyphs, ancient Egypt had a vibrant musical tradition. Music was an integral part of their daily lives. Music was everywhere in this ancient civilization, from simple homes to grand temples. It was a universal language that transcended social classes. Imagine the sun rising over the Nile River, shining on the fields, the gentle hum of the river, the rustling of the reeds, and the distant sound of a flute. Farmers work in their fields, singing ancient songs. These songs were not just for entertainment. They were a way to pass down stories and traditions. In the busy marketplace, musicians play happy tunes, and their music mixes with the sounds of people buying and selling. The marketplace was a hub of activity, and music added to its vibrancy. Inside the temples, priests performed rituals, singing hymns and playing sacred instruments. These rituals were believed to connect them with the divine. Music wasn't just art in ancient Egypt, it was a big part of their lives. It was woven into the fabric of their society. It showed their happiness and sadness, their beliefs and hopes. Music was a reflection of their emotions and their worldview. It connected them to their gods and celebrated life and death. Music was a bridge between the mortal and the divine. Join us as we travel back in time to explore the music of ancient Egypt. We'll delve into the sounds that echoed through the temples and marketplaces. We'll discover their instruments and learn about their musical traditions. From the simple reed flutes to the elaborate harps, each instrument had its own story. This picture shows us the musical culture of ancient Egypt. The wall paintings are a testament to the importance of music in their society. We see musicians playing harps, their fingers deftly plucking the strings to create melodies that have been lost to time. Flutes, their breath giving life to the music, and drums, the heartbeat of their songs. They look skilled and passionate. Their expressions show a deep connection to their craft. This scene reminds us that music was important to them. It was present in their celebrations, their rituals, and their daily lives. It brought them joy, comfort, and a connection to their gods. Music was the soul of ancient Egypt, a timeless echo of a civilization that continues to captivate us. Music wasn't just for rich people or religious ceremonies in ancient Egypt. Everyone enjoyed music. It was a universal language that transcended social classes and was deeply embedded in the fabric of their daily lives. From the grand palaces of the pharaohs to the humble homes of the common folk, music resonated through the air, bringing joy and solace to all who heard it. It was part of everyday life and all kinds of activities. Whether people were working, relaxing, or celebrating, music was always present. It was as essential to their lives as the Nile River, providing a rhythm to their daily routines and marking the passage of time with its melodies. From working in the fields to celebrating at festivals, music was always there. Farmers would sing as they sowed and harvested their crops, their songs echoing across the fertile lands. These melodies not only made the hard work more bearable, but also synchronized their efforts, making the labor more efficient and harmonious. Think about the hard work of building the pyramids, those huge monuments that we still marvel at today. The construction of these colossal structures required immense physical effort and coordination. Music played a crucial role in this process, helping to maintain the workers' morale and keep them in sync. The work was tough, but the workers sang together. Their voices, rising in unison, created a powerful sense of camaraderie and shared purpose. These songs were not just about passing the time, they were a vital part of the work itself, providing a steady rhythm for the labourers to follow. Their voices, rising and falling, gave them a sense of unity and purpose. The melodies and rhythms helped to coordinate their movements, ensuring that each stone was placed with precision and care. This musical collaboration was a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of the ancient Egyptians. These work songs, passed down from parents to children, helped them work together and kept them going. They were a living tradition, a way of preserving the knowledge and skills of previous generations. Through these songs, the wisdom of the past was carried forward, ensuring that each new generation was equipped to face the challenges of their time. In the busy marketplaces where people sold things and met friends, music created a lively atmosphere. The sounds of merchants calling out their wares, the chatter of customers, and the melodies of street musicians blended together to create a vibrant and dynamic soundscape. Musicians, both good and not so good, played their instruments, filling the air with music that attracted crowds. These performers were an integral part of the market experience, drawing people in with their tunes and adding to the overall energy and excitement of the place. Drums, flutes and harps all played together, making the marketplace a fun and exciting place. Each instrument added its own unique flavour to the mix, creating a rich tapestry of sound that reflected the diversity and creativity of ancient Egyptian culture. Festivals and celebrations always had music in ancient Egypt. These events were a time for the community to come together, to celebrate their achievements and to honour their gods. Music was at the heart of these gatherings, providing a soundtrack for the festivities and enhancing the sense of joy and togetherness. These happy events, often celebrating the harvest or honouring their gods, were full of music and dancing. The rhythms of the drums and the melodies of the flute set the pace for the dancers, who moved with grace and exuberance. These celebrations were a testament to the vitality and spirit of the ancient Egyptians. Imagine a festival for Hathor, the goddess of love, music and joy. The streets would be filled with people, all dressed in their finest clothes, ready to celebrate and give thanks. The air would be alive with the sounds of music and laughter as people danced and sang in honour of the goddess. The air would be filled with the smell of incense, and the streets would be crowded with people in colourful clothes, dancing to the music. The vibrant colours and the joyful sounds created an atmosphere of celebration and reverence, a perfect reflection of the ancient Egyptians' love for life and their deep connection to their gods. Whether it was the singing of workers, the music in the marketplace, or the happy melodies of festivals, music was always with the ancient Egyptians. It was a constant presence, a source of comfort and joy that accompanied them through all the ups and downs of life. It comforted them when times were hard, made their happy times even better, and connected them to the world around them. Music was a bridge between the human and the divine, a way of expressing their deepest emotions and their highest aspirations. This picture from a tomb shows us a party in ancient Egypt. The scene is filled with life and energy, capturing a moment of joy and celebration that has been preserved for thousands of years. We see musicians entertaining guests. Their presence at the party highlights the importance of music in social gatherings, providing entertainment and enhancing the overall experience for everyone involved. The details of their instruments, how they sit, and even their faces show us how important music was to their parties. These images give us a glimpse into the past, revealing the central role that music played in the lives of the ancient Egyptians, from the grandest festivals to the most intimate gatherings. Ancient Egyptians didn't just see music as entertainment, it was woven into the very fabric of their daily lives and spiritual practices. It was very important to their religion, serving as a bridge between the mortal and the divine. They believed music connected them to their gods, creating a sacred soundscape that facilitated communication with the divine. They even believed some gods created music, attributing the origins of melodies and rhythms to divine inspiration. Hathor, the cow goddess, was connected to music, dance and joy. She was often depicted with a sistrum, a musical instrument that symbolized her role as a goddess of music. They believed her music was magical and could make both gods and people happy, bringing joy and harmony to the world. Bes, the dwarf god, often shown with a mask and a musical instrument, protected homes and was a patron of music and dance. His presence was believed to ward off evil spirits and bring good fortune. These gods show us how important music was to their religion, as it was intertwined with their beliefs and daily practices. Temples were filled with music, especially during religious ceremonies. The sound of instruments and chanting created an atmosphere of reverence and devotion. Priests, who were often skilled musicians, played music to honour the gods, ask for their help and keep them happy. Their musical performances were seen as offerings, a way to gain favour and ensure the gods' blessings. The sistrum, a kind of rattle, was often played by goddesses. Its distinctive sound was believed to have protective qualities. They believed its shaking sound kept away evil and brought divine protection, creating a sacred space free from negative influences. Playing music was a sacred duty, a way to talk to the gods and keep the world in balance. It was an essential part of their religious rituals and ceremonies. Musicians, especially those in temples, were important people. They were highly respected and their skills were considered divine gifts. Their skills were seen as gifts from the gods, and their music was a way to honour these divine gifts. Their music wasn't just entertainment, it was a way to pray and offer gifts to the heavens. Each note and rhythm was a form of worship, a way to connect with the divine. The importance of music in ancient Egyptian religion reminds us of the power of music. It was a tool for spiritual connection, a means to express faith, and a way to find comfort in the mysteries of life. It can connect us to something bigger than ourselves, transcending the mundane and touching the divine. Their beliefs, though different from ours, show us how music has always been used to express faith, find comfort, and celebrate the mysteries of the universe. The melodies and rhythms of ancient Egypt continue to echo through time, reminding us of the timeless connection between music and spirituality. This beautiful sistrum, with its carvings and sacred pictures, shows us how much they respected their instruments. Each instrument was not just a tool, but a sacred object imbued with spiritual significance. The shaking of this instrument inside a temple would have created a feeling of awe and reverence, connecting people to their gods. The sound resonated through the sacred halls, a reminder of the divine presence in their lives. Death in ancient Egypt was not an end, but a transition, a pause before embarking on a perpetual journey to the afterlife. This belief fueled the practice of mummification, a complex and sacred ritual designed to preserve the physical body for the soul's eternal existence. The Egyptians believed that the soul, or ka, needed a physical form to inhabit in the afterlife. Mummification, therefore, was not merely about preserving the deceased, but about ensuring their successful transition and journey in the next world. This meticulous process transformed the deceased into an eternal being, ready to face the challenges and rewards of the afterlife. Imagine the hustle and bustle of ancient Egypt. The hot desert sun beats down on the land. The Nile River flows serenely, its banks teeming with life. Amidst this vibrant backdrop, a death has occurred, casting a somber shadow over the community. Yet there is no despair, only a quiet acceptance of the next stage of existence. For the Egyptians, death was simply a transition, a doorway to another realm. And to navigate this passage successfully, one needed the proper preparation, mummification. The Egyptians were deeply spiritual people. Their lives revolved around the cycles of nature and the promise of life after death. Central to this belief was the concept of the ka, the spiritual essence or soul of an individual. This ka played a vital role in the afterlife. It was believed to journey to the underworld, face judgment, and ultimately, if deemed worthy, achieve eternal life. But for the ka to survive, it needed a vessel, a physical form to return to. Hence, the elaborate and highly ritualized process of mummification evolved. This intricate procedure, shrouded in mystery and steeped in symbolism, was not merely about preserving the body from decay. It was about preparing the deceased for an eternal voyage, ensuring that they had everything they needed to navigate the trials and tribulations of the underworld and emerge triumphant in the afterlife. The intricacies of mummification varied greatly depending on social status and wealth. Elaborate procedures reserved for the elite, like pharaohs and high-ranking officials, involved meticulous organ removal and preservation using expensive resins and perfumes. Commoners, however, received a more simplified version, often involving less intricate organ treatment and simpler wrappings. Interestingly, even animals held a place in the afterlife. Beloved pets and animals deemed sacred, like cats, were often mummified, their treatment reflecting the reverence they held in Egyptian society. Imagine the bustling workshops of the embalmers, the air thick with the scent of exotic spices and resins. Here, amidst glistening tools and linen bandages, the bodies of the deceased were received with utmost care and reverence. Yet, not all were treated equally. Ancient Egyptian society, much like our own, was stratified, with social standing playing a significant role in life and death. The pharaohs, considered divine rulers, received the most elaborate and costly mummification. Their bodies were meticulously prepared, organs carefully removed and placed in special containers called canopic jars, and the body cavities cleansed and filled with precious resins and perfumes. The process could take up to 70 days to complete, a testament to the importance placed on ensuring the pharaoh's successful transition to the afterlife. High-ranking officials and nobles also received elaborate mummifications, though not as opulent as the pharaohs. Their wealth and status afforded them the luxury of skilled embalmers and finer materials. Commoners, on the other hand, received a more simplified version. While their bodies were still treated with respect and care, the process was less intricate, and the materials used were more readily available. Sometimes a single treatment was applied to multiple mummies to reduce costs. The mummification process, a closely guarded secret of the embalmers, was a marvel of ancient science and ritual. It began with the purification of the body. The deceased was washed with water from the sacred Nile River, a symbolic act cleansing the body and spirit for the journey ahead. Next, the internal organs, believed to be susceptible to decay, were removed. This delicate procedure, performed with specialized tools, involved extracting the lungs, liver, stomach, and intestines. Only the heart, the seat of intelligence and emotion, was left intact, for it would be needed in the afterlife during the weighing of the heart ceremony. The removal of the organs marked a critical stage in the mummification process. It was not a haphazard or purely practical procedure, but a deeply symbolic act. The Egyptians believed that the body needed to be as intact as possible for the afterlife, but they also recognized the problem of decomposition. Thus, they developed a system where the organs, most prone to decay, were removed and preserved separately, ensuring that a vital part of the individual remained intact for their journey to the afterlife. Once removed, the organs were thoroughly cleansed and treated with natron, a naturally occurring salt mixture found in the desert which acted as a desiccant, drawing out moisture and preventing decay. This process was crucial, as it ensured the long-term preservation of the organs. After drying, the organs were wrapped in linen and placed in special containers known as canopic jars, which were then placed within the tomb alongside the mummy. Section 4. Safeguarding the Essence. Canopic Jars and the Four Sons of Horus. The canopic jars were more than just containers. They were intricate works of art imbued with religious significance. Each jar was adorned with the head of a deity, each representing one of the four sons of Horus, the falcon-headed god of kingship. These sons, Imseti, Hapi, Duamutef, and Kebesenuef, were tasked with protecting specific organs. Imseti, with a human head, guarded the liver. Hapi, with the head of a baboon, protected the lungs. Duamutef, characterized by the head of a jackal, watched over the stomach, and Kebesenuef, with the head of a falcon, safeguarded the intestines. The placement of the organs within these specific jars, each protected by a son of Horus, highlights the Egyptians' belief in the interconnectedness of the physical and spiritual realms. Every step of the mummification process was imbued with symbolism, each action carefully orchestrated to ensure the deceased's well-being in the afterlife. The sons of Horus, through their protective roles, served as intermediaries between the world of the living and the dead, guiding and safeguarding the deceased's organs on their journey to eternity. These beautifully crafted jars, often made of alabaster or limestone, were more than just containers. They were seen as miniature sarcophagi, protecting vital parts of the deceased for eternity. Their presence within the tomb underscored the belief that the body in its entirety played a crucial role in the afterlife. The care and artistry lavished upon these jars are a testament to the Egyptians' deep respect for the dead and their commitment to ensuring a smooth transition to the afterlife. The power of Natron, drying for eternity. With the organs removed and placed in their respective canopic jars, the next stage of the mummification process focused on dehydrating the body. This was crucial to prevent decomposition. The Egyptians used natron, a naturally occurring salt mixture found in abundance in the desert, for this purpose. The body, covered in natron packs, was laid on a slanted table, allowing fluids to drain away. Natron, a desiccant, played a vital role in mummification. It acted like a sponge, drawing out all the moisture from the body, effectively halting the process of decomposition. This natural salt, readily available in the Egyptian desert, became synonymous with preservation. Its use extending beyond mummification to preserving food and other perishable goods. For about 40 days, the body remained immersed in this natron bath, slowly drying and becoming resistant to decay. The embalmers, skilled in their craft, regularly checked the progress, ensuring the body was dehydrating properly. This period of drying was crucial, as it transformed the body from a perishable vessel into a lasting symbol of eternal life. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more fascinating historical explorations. Have you ever wondered how the sands of time have shifted under the influence of different civilizations? Such is the curious case of the Romans and their impact on ancient Egypt. Egypt, the cradle of civilization, with its pyramids and pharaohs, has always held an allure for history enthusiasts. But like a prism refracting light, Egypt's history is multifaceted, with one of its most intriguing aspects being the influence of the Roman civilization. The Romans, renowned for their mastery in governance and engineering, set foot in Egypt around the 1st century BC. A land already steeped in rich history, Egypt was a jewel that many sought but few could claim. For the Romans, it was an opportunity to expand their empire, and for Egypt, it was the dawn of a new era. Over the course of our exploration, we will navigate through the corridors of time to shed light on the Roman conquest, the blending of cultures under Roman rule, the marvels of Roman engineering, and their enduring legacy in Egypt. Imagine, if you will, the bustling city of Cyrene, a vibrant testament to Roman architectural prowess, thriving under the desert sun. Picture the grandeur of Roman forts, their imposing structures a beacon of Roman might amidst Egypt's ancient landscape. But this influence was not confined to bricks and mortar. The Romans, with their nuanced governance, were architects of society too. They built bridges, not just of stone, but of culture, intertwining their own with that of the Egyptians, creating a rich tapestry woven with threads of both Roman and Egyptian heritage. And let's not forget the marvels of Roman engineering. Aqueducts snaking through the landscape, an ingenious solution to the desert's harsh climate. Their testament to the Romans' ingenuity still stands today, echoing tales of a civilization far advanced for its time. As we delve deeper into this intriguing history, we will uncover the profound impact of the Roman civilization on ancient Egypt, a tale of conquest, cultural fusion, architectural genius, and an enduring legacy that has stood the test of time. This is the unseen influence of the Romans on ancient Egypt. The Romans, a civilization known for its military prowess and strategic acumen, set their sights on Egypt around 30 BC. The allure of Egypt's vast resources and strategic location was too enticing to ignore. After all, Egypt was a jewel in the crown of the Mediterranean, with its fertile river valleys, abundant grain, and access to the Red Sea trade routes. The conquest of Egypt was not just about territorial expansion for the Romans, it was a strategic move, a testament to their foresight. Egypt was not just another province, it was the breadbasket of the Roman Empire. The fertile lands along the Nile River provided a steady supply of grain, ensuring that Rome never went hungry. Furthermore, the wealth of Egypt, particularly its gold, added significantly to the coffers of the Roman Empire, fueling its economic prosperity. But the Romans weren't merely conquerors, they were also assimilators. They recognized the importance of Egypt's rich culture and history. Instead of imposing their culture wholesale on the Egyptians, they chose to integrate, absorbing elements of Egyptian culture into their own. This approach allowed them to win over the hearts and minds of the Egyptian people, making their rule more palatable. The conquest of Egypt marked the beginning of Roman influence in the region. The Romans established their presence with the construction of forts and cities, including the city of Cyrene, which became a hub of Roman culture and commerce in North Africa. These settlements served not only as military outposts, but also as symbols of Roman power and civilization. The Roman conquest also marked a significant shift in Egypt's history. The pharaonic era had ended, and the Roman era had begun. It was a period of change and adaptation, as two of the ancient world's most renowned civilizations became inexorably intertwined. With the conquest complete, the stage was set for a Roman era in Egypt's history. The Romans had arrived, and they were here to stay. Their influence would permeate every aspect of Egyptian life, from its culture to its architecture, leaving an indelible mark on the land of the pharaohs. Under Roman rule, Egypt experienced a fusion of cultures that shaped its future. The Roman conquest of Egypt in 30 BC was not just a political takeover, but a significant cultural merger that forever altered the course of Egyptian history. This period was marked by a fascinating blend of Roman and Egyptian cultures, creating a unique societal tapestry that still resonates today. The Romans, renowned for their administrative efficiency, brought about significant societal changes. They introduced their language Latin, but also allowed the use of Greek and Egyptian, acknowledging the importance of cultural diversity. This linguistic coexistence is a testament to the Romans' pragmatic approach, allowing for smoother administration and better communication with the locals. In the realm of religion, the Romans displayed remarkable adaptability. They embraced Egyptian gods, incorporating them into their pantheon, thus creating a hybrid religious system. The Roman emperor, seen as a divine entity in Rome, was also portrayed as a pharaoh in Egyptian contexts, further exemplifying this cultural synthesis. The Romans also respected and adopted the Egyptian tradition of mummification, a practice associated with the journey to the afterlife. This adoption illustrates the Romans' willingness to integrate local customs into their own, a strategy that undoubtedly helped in maintaining peace and stability. Politically, the Romans recognized the value of the existing Egyptian administrative structures and, rather than dismantling them, chose to adapt and build upon them. While the Romans brought their own laws and governance style, they also incorporated Egyptian legal traditions, creating a blended system that was both effective and accepted by the locals. Under Roman rule, Egypt became a melting pot of cultures, a place where Roman and Egyptian traditions coexisted and even merged. The Romans' pragmatic approach to ruling, their willingness to adapt, and their respect for the existing culture resulted in a unique societal blend, a fusion that enriched both societies. The Roman rule had firmly woven itself into the fabric of Egyptian society, leaving an indelible mark. The Romans were renowned for their engineering prowess, and Egypt was no exception to their architectural marvels. When we delve into the annals of history, we find that Roman engineering left an indelible mark on the landscape of Egypt. This influence is evident in the remarkable structures that withstood the test of time, echoing the grandeur of Rome even in the heart of the desert. One of the most fascinating examples of Roman engineering in Egypt is the aqueducts. These ingenious structures were designed to transport water from the Nile to the arid regions of the country. The Romans applied their knowledge of hydraulics to master the art of moving water across great distances, using gravity as their ally. They built aqueducts with such precision that even after 2,000 years, some of these structures remain functional. Just as impressive are the Roman bridges scattered across Egypt. These bridges were not just feats of engineering, they were strategically placed to facilitate trade and communication. The Romans harnessed the power of arches, a design still used in modern bridges, to create sturdy, reliable structures that could bear the weight of heavy traffic. But the epitome of Roman influence in Egypt can be seen in the city of Cyrene. Nestled in the Libyan desert, Cyrene was once a vibrant Roman city, brimming with grand architecture. The city was a fusion of Egyptian and Roman cultures, reflected in its many monuments. The Romans adorned Cyrene with a grand amphitheatre, a testament to their love for the arts, and bathhouses that showcased their innovative heating systems. The city was also home to the Temple of Zeus, a colossal structure that rivaled the Parthenon in Athens. This temple, built in the Corinthian style, with its fluted columns and ornate friezes, is a testament to the architectural prowess of the Romans. The Roman engineering marvels in Egypt were not just structures of stone and mortar. They were symbols of the empire's might, the physical embodiment of their knowledge and creativity. Even today, these structures inspire awe and admiration, reminding us of a time when Rome's influence stretched across the known world. These architectural wonders stand as a testament to the Roman influence that pervaded Egypt. Even as empires rise and fall, their legacies continue to echo through the ages. The Roman Empire was no exception. Its influence on ancient Egypt was profound, and its imprint can still be seen today. The Romans, with their superior military tactics and engineering prowess, built numerous forts across Egypt. These forts served not just as defensive structures, but also as important trade and administrative centers. One could say that these forts were the backbone of Roman rule in Egypt, facilitating control over the vast desert landscapes and the bustling Nile River. But the Romans didn't just bring their military might to Egypt, they brought their culture too. The Romans, being pragmatic as they were, did not seek to erase the existing Egyptian culture, but rather chose to integrate it with their own. This integration led to a fascinating blend of Roman and Egyptian cultural elements, visible in the architecture, art, and even religious practices of the time. The city of Cyrene stands as a testament to this blend of cultures, with its Roman-styled buildings adorned with Egyptian symbols and motifs. The Roman influence also extended to the governance of Egypt. The Romans introduced a more centralized administrative system which proved to be more efficient than the previous structures. This system not only helped the Romans maintain control over Egypt, but also paved the way for future administrative practices. Finally, the Romans introduced new agricultural techniques and crops that boosted Egypt's economy. They also improved the existing irrigation systems, ensuring a more reliable water supply for the agricultural lands. These advancements in agriculture had a lasting impact, securing Egypt's position as a breadbasket of the Mediterranean even after the fall of the Roman Empire. The Roman influence in Egypt was not just a chapter in history, but a saga that continues to resonate. The Roman legacy in Egypt is a story of cultural integration, administrative efficiency, and agricultural advancement. It's a story that serves as a reminder of how empires, even in their fall, continue to shape the world in unexpected ways. The sands of the Egyptian desert hold stories of times when the might of Rome shaped its destiny. We've journeyed through epochs, traversed the timeline of the Roman conquest and rule, and marveled at the engineering feats that stood as testaments to Roman ingenuity. We've explored the harmonious blend of cultures that resulted from the Roman reign in Egypt, and how their legacy still lingers in the windswept landscapes of this ancient land. As we traced the footsteps of Roman soldiers along the Nile, we discovered the profound effects of Roman architecture and engineering. The aqueducts, the bridges, the forts, all silent witnesses to a time when Rome's influence was stamped onto Egyptian soil. They echo the genius of a civilization that was far ahead of its time, a civilization that left an indelible mark on the world. We ventured into the city of Cyrene, a page from history that encapsulates the Roman-Egyptian cultural fusion. A city that bears witness to the Roman administrative acumen, and a testament to the peaceful coexistence of two great civilizations under the Roman rule. The Roman era was not merely a period of conquest and rule, it was an era of influence that sowed the seeds of progress and cultural evolution. The Roman legacy in Egypt is not confined to the remnants of their architectural marvels. It is imbued in the ethos of the land, subtly influencing its course of development. Understanding this Roman influence is akin to piecing together a grand puzzle, a puzzle that reveals the vibrant tapestry of Egyptian history. It helps us comprehend how the past has shaped the present and how it will continue to shape the future. In conclusion, the Roman era was a pivotal chapter in the history of ancient Egypt. It was a time of change, of growth, and of cultural amalgamation. It was an era that left an enduring imprint on the sands of time. As we walk on the sands of Egypt, we tread on layers of history, each telling a tale of civilizations, their rise, their fall, and their enduring influence. Did you know that beer and bread were not just food items, but also a form of currency in ancient Egypt? While it was the Mesopotamians who first invented beer, even developing the ingenious use of a straw to sidestep the pesky sediments and herbs, it was the ancient Egyptians who truly mastered the art of brewing. The quality of Egyptian beer was judged by its color, its flavor, and of course, its alcohol strength. Beer was more than just a beverage to the ancient Egyptians. During the Pharaonic era, it became the most commonly used alcoholic drink, and its importance was unparalleled. It was consumed daily by both adults and children, and it was even included in medical texts as a key ingredient hundreds remedies. The state and temples used beer as a form of payment to their workers. It was also offered up as food to the gods and the deceased. This humble brew was the drink of choice at ceremonies and festivals, and there was even a particular festival aptly named the Festival of Drunkenness, devoted entirely to it. Beer was not the only product the Egyptians were skilled at creating. Bakers and brewers often worked side by side in the same workshop or house, with bread being another staple in the Egyptian diet. The most basic recipe involved using malted cereal as the primary ingredient, with fruits such as dates, honey and spices added for flavor. Once baked, the bread would be crumbled into the brew to kickstart the fermentation process, creating a thick, mash-like substance. The process was a testament to the Egyptians' resourcefulness. Very little was wasted. Leftover grains were put to good use, either being reused to make sourdough bread or incorporated into the next batch in the Pharaonic era. Beer and bread evolved from mere sustenance to become the most commonly used and significant commodity. Imagine receiving your salary in the form of beer and bread. Sounds unusual, right? But that was the reality during the Pharaonic era in ancient Egypt. Beer and bread, more than just staples of the Egyptian diet, were the currency of the land. The state and temples used these commodities as payment to workers, from the builders of the Great Pyramids to the farmers tilling the fertile Nile riverbanks. But it didn't stop at wages. Beer and bread also held a sacred place in Egyptian society. They were routinely included in offerings to the gods and the deceased. It was believed that these offerings would provide for the needs of the departed in the afterlife. In fact, the hieroglyphic symbol for meal was a loaf of bread and a jar of beer. Festivals and ceremonies too were incomplete without these two essentials. One such occasion was the Festival of Drunkenness, a unique celebration dedicated entirely to beer. This festival commemorated the myth of Sekhmet, the lioness-headed goddess who almost wiped out humanity but was pacified by beer. Egyptians would drink to the point of oblivion, believing that in their intoxicated state they could connect with the divine. Beer was not just a recreational drink. It was considered to be quite nutritious and was a significant part of the everyday lives of ancient Egyptians. It was consumed with all meals by adults and children alike. Its importance is further underscored by its prominence in medical texts, where hundreds of remedies contained beer as a key ingredient. As for bread, it was more than a side dish. It was a symbol of life and fertility, and its production was associated with the god Osiris, who was believed to have taught Egyptians the art of agriculture. So, while we might not find the idea of being paid in beer and bread appealing today, for the ancient Egyptians, these were not just food items. They were an integral part of their life, culture, and economy. Indeed, beer and bread were not just food items, they were the lifeblood of ancient Egypt's economy and culture. Beer for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that was a typical day for an ancient Egyptian. Beer wasn't just an indulgence for them, it was a dietary staple consumed by adults and children alike. It was as common as water, and arguably safer to drink considering the purification process involved in brewing. Now, it might sound strange to us, but the beer of ancient Egypt was very different from what we're used to today. It was a nutritious, hearty brew that was more like a liquid bread. It was thick, often consumed with a straw to bypass the chunky sediments, and contained proteins, vitamins, and even antibiotic properties. Yes, you heard that right. This beer could help fight off diseases, an added bonus in a time before modern medicine. In fact, beer was so significant in the day-to-day lives of ancient Egyptians that it even found its way into their medical practices. Hundreds of remedies from that era include beer as a key ingredient. It was used to treat everything from digestive issues to wounds, making it an essential part of their health regimen. And it wasn't just beer that held a crucial place in their diet. Bread, too, was a staple food made from barley or emmer wheat. It was often enriched with additional ingredients like fruits, nuts, honey, and spices, providing a wide range of nutrients. The process of baking bread and brewing beer were closely linked, often happening in the same workshop or household. The leftover grains from brewing were reused to make sourdough bread, ensuring that nothing went to waste. This circular process not only maximized resources, but also created a symbiotic relationship between the two essential food items. Now, keep in mind, this was not a diet born out of indulgence, but out of necessity. In a harsh desert environment where fresh produce was limited, beer and bread provided the necessary calories and nutrients to sustain life. So, for ancient Egyptians, beer was not just a drink, it was a vital part of their diet and health regimen. And bread wasn't just a side dish, but a life-sustaining necessity. Their importance in the daily life of ancient Egyptians was paramount, a testament to human ingenuity in turning simple grains into nourishing sustenance. The ancient Egyptians were not just pyramid builders, they were master brewers and bakers too. Their craft was a delicate dance of ingredients and steps, an art form that took skill and care to perfect. The most basic recipe for their beer began with malted cereal. This humble grain was the starting point, the canvas upon which the Egyptians would create their masterpiece. To this they added dates, a sweet, sticky fruit that lent flavour and body to the brew. Honey was another addition, bringing its own unique sweetness and depth. Spices too were included, their aromatic notes dancing amidst the other flavours, adding complexity and intrigue. And then there was bread. Not just any bread, but bread that was freshly baked and crumbled into the brew, a catalyst to start the all-important fermentation process. Adding grain enzymes to the mix, the Egyptians were able to break down the starches in the bread and malt, turning them into sugars. This created a thick mash, a soupy mixture that was the precursor to the final beer. Once ready, this bread and grain mixture was compressed, strained through a sieve with water, and added to the mix of malt beer. This beer mash was then transferred to large containers and compressed again, either by foot or with pestles. This process smoothed out the mixture, readying it for the final steps. Once smooth, the beer was stored in pottery jars, sealed with a clay stopper to keep it fresh. Its shelf life was limited, and it likely had a thick, pasty appearance and texture. But in ancient Egypt, nothing was wasted. The leftover grains from the brewing process were reused either to make sourdough bread or to be combined with the next batch of beer. This cycle of brewing and baking, of creation and reuse, was a testament to the Egyptians' resourcefulness and ingenuity. Despite the passage of time, the brewing and baking techniques of the ancient Egyptians remain an awe-inspiring testament to their ingenuity. As the sands of time shifted, so did the quality and significance of beer and bread in ancient Egypt. Take a moment to consider the humble grain of wheat. In its raw form, it may not seem like much, but when transformed by the hands of skilled bakers and brewers, it became the lifeblood of a civilization. The introduction of durum wheat, a hard variety of wheat with a high protein content, brought about a significant improvement in the quality of bread. This allowed the upper and middle classes to enjoy a more refined taste. However, the story was different for the poor. Their diet was often a simple gruel made of vegetables, softened bread or barley. Despite the advances in bread making, the disparity between the classes was evident even in their meals. Interestingly, the way food was prepared also evolved. Until the Middle Kingdom, food was prepared on the floor. Can you imagine kneading dough or brewing beer in the dust? But innovation came in the form of cooking benches. These raised platforms provided a cleaner, more efficient space for preparing meals and must have been a welcome change for the bakers and brewers of the time. In the world of brewing, the techniques remained largely the same, but the recipes evolved. Brewers began experimenting with different ingredients, adding fruits, nuts and spices to their brews. This not only enhanced the flavor of the beer, but also provided additional nutrients, further cementing beer's place as a vital part of the Egyptian diet. Just as the pyramids stand as a testament to the architectural prowess of the ancient Egyptians, the evolution of beer and bread serves as a testament to their culinary innovation. This is a story of a society that valued both necessity and pleasure, creating a balance that was reflected in their food and drink. From humble beginnings to significant commodities, the journey of beer and bread in ancient Egypt is a fascinating tale of evolution and adaptation.